This is Claude with Pasadena Avenue Analytics, and what we're gonna do today is go over this two-part trading strategy. It's pretty good. It's free, so you're not gonna have to pay for it. Um, and and I think it's gonna be a really good, insightful view of it. And congratulations! I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. Um, And this strategy is truly going to be a blessing to you guys. You'll be able to use it. And just to talk about blessings in general, um, just bear with me here. Okay. I apologize. I'm back. Just to talk about blessings in general. Um, Most people think that they receive blessings. That's not the true. It's not. It's not 100% true. I believe that blessings are cycles that go from God through someone to you to someone else back to God. So it's an entire circle. Um, if you look at the difference between like a billionaire and let's say one of my uncles or like one of my friends, um, that that job at that warehouse that put that single mother's son through college um, was because of an ideal that someone who became a billionaire had that provided that job that ended up being the answer to that woman's prayer. And so you see how it's full circle because it started from God, went to that person, they had an ideal, that ideal created jobs, and then that blessing ended up being a blessing to that single mother who was able to get that blessing for that child to be able to get an education, and God got the glory in that. So so if you want to become a billionaire, instead of looking for a blessing for yourself, you might want to look at how you could or find a way to be a part of a billion people's blessing. And when you become a billionaire, that's where you belong because that's where God put you, Himself. And so, that's my rant on that. But you guys didn't come here for that. Y'all came here for a trading strategy. So we're gonna get into that. Um, but let's continue here. Okay, big bank take little bank. Retail investors, market makers, and you. Right. When I was young in the hood, we had this game called Big Bank Take Little Bank. And if you was a kid and you had $5, some big kid would be like, "Hey man, little bank take big bank take little bank, big bank take little bank." You'd be like, "Okay," thinking you had $5 because that's the most money you've ever saw. He's got $5.25. He take your $5. Now you got nothing. That is how the market is. So, if you don't have a group of people that clock in to work every day for you and it is in front of your monitors looking for opportunities to trade with advanced analytics and is moving billions of dollars in assets from one place to the next, you are a retail trader. And retail traders are sheep in this industry. Retail traders are sheep. And there's a such thing as a 90-90-90 rule for retail traders. You either one or two things. You're a retail trader or a market maker. You can't be in between. Um, the 90-90-90 rule states that 90% of retail investors will lose 90% of their capital in 90 days, right? So if you make it past 90 days, you've beat 90% of retail investors. Because once you lose enough capital and you don't have a reason to stay in, you'll quit and say it's a scam, right? And the one thing that I believe separate retail investors from market makers is information and how they utilize the information. And we'll get into that here in a moment, but I just want to clarify that there. Okay, so this is what you came here for, and this is what we're going to cover. You have two parts to this trading strategy. The first part is going to be analytics. You have to pick bullish environment for the strategy to work. It is a scalping strategy, and I believe it's the only strategy you need. You don't need any tools. You just need this. You don't need any indicators or anything like that. All you need is price action. That's pretty much it. And you need to be on a daily candle, which I'll explain what that is here in a moment. And these are the rules to the scalping strategy. Identify and mark the last high. So if price, the last place where price went up, reversed, and went down, you mark the top of that, right? And then your entry would be if price then goes above that line, opens and closes above that line, and doesn't touch that line, you have to enter into the trade no matter what. You have to enter into the trade above that line no matter what. And to exit the trade, you exit if you see 1 or 3 red candles after you enter the trade. So if you're conservative, get out the first red candle you see. If you're not conservative, then just, 3 red candles, that's the most you can risk. Get out, because that's a sign that it's going to go down. You want to try these on a demo account, but we're gonna get into it here. All right, so now it's time for the demo, and I'm gonna demo this to you guys here. So let's see. Okay. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick this stock here, and I'll explain what this is here in a moment. But if you this here will get you in the right environment, but I'll explain to you what it is here in a moment. All right, so we have in it 1 day on a daily candle, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna mark this last high right here. Okay, and we're doing a back testing strategy just to prove this out. Okay, so this is a high, so we're gonna move this line here. Boom. Actually, this was the last high here. Boom. So as this high moves, we're moving this high. If we get an open and close above this high, we have to enter into the trade no matter what there. All right, so this is the candle here. Let's go ahead and put this here. We're committed. If we get 3 red candles, we're out. So let's see what happens here for us. We're in profit. It's great. It's great. 1 red candle and profit. 2 red candles. All right. Now, this is tricky, but it looks like 3 red candles because the price is low here. It's low. I'm just gonna let them have that and take our bag and run. So I'm gonna put this here. Make that accurate. All right, so that's our trade. That's what we're in. All right, so we're taking this line here. We're gonna put it here. Right here. We get an open and close above this, we're in. Actually, this was the last high. That's the last high right there. We get an open and close above that, we're back into the trade. back into the trade just that fast. But I really don't like that because it was too quick. We get 3 candles, we're just gonna let them have it. But let's see what happens here. Okay. Whatever. We lost a little bit of money, but that's a little bit. But it was a sign. So we'll let them have it. This was the last high right here. If it opens or closes above that high, we're in again. Okay, so this is a high. We're going to bring that down. Let's see what happens here. Okay. All right, so we're going to put that here. We get 3 red candles, we're out. Well, we're going to put that here. This is that. We're committed. Boom. We're committed here. Boom. Let's see what happens here. Let's run it. All right. Hey, you win some, you lose some. So we lost twice there. But okay, no problem. We're sticking with the main thing is to stick with the rule. In the end, your win ratio will reflect how much you stuck with the rule there. So, and then this being our last high right here, we'll just go ahead and follow that. Okay. So it went up, went down, boom, and went up here. Let's see what happens here. Let's go ahead and put this here because it might be promising there. Let's see what happens. We get a red candle out right off the bat, we'll get out, but we get 3 red candles, we're out. Okay. 1, 2, 3. All right. Let's put this here. Let's take this. We'll put it here. All right. We won this one. We lost a little bit here. Lost a little bit here. No problem. Won this. Strategy is sound. It's sound. Let's mark this high. Boom. And let's let it play one more time. Okay. Open and close above the high. If it gives us a red candle right off the bat, we'll take that first red candle. But if it goes a little bit and it gives us 3 red candles, then we'll get out. Or we'll get out when we feel like it. But we're committed. We in. Alright. No problem. We won a little bit. But it psyched us out. I thought I was going to go higher. But hey, a win is a win. I wish it would have went up there, but it is what it is. So, hey, we'll take it. All right. So, 1, 2. One, 2. But, okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. All right. So as you can see, we definitely won more than we lost. So, and I'm just gonna go back to the slide here, which is We identified and marked the last high. We entered when a green candle opened and closed above that last high, not touching, and exit 1 to 3 candles after the entry. That's your rules. That's it. It's simple. That's simple. And you'd be surprised. It took me ever since 2016 to understand that. But you guys get it right off the bat. So congratulations. You guys get all that knowledge in 30 minutes. It took me years to get that. So um so congratulations on that. All right. So me okay. So the first part of this strategy, so we just went over the second part of the strategy, which is the actual way to enter and exit out of the trade. The first part of the strategy is the analytics. Story behind this is I was working on a project for one of my clients out of Great Britain, and one of the lead developer, he used to work for a bank. He said he spent like 20 years in the banking industry in England. And I told him about the program that I was developing, that I had been developing for the last 3 years. And I asked him, I said, if I was to sell this to a bank, how much would they pay for it? And he said, well, they wouldn't buy anything from you, Claude, the developer. But if you can get social proof that other people are using this application and they're able to make money off this application, then you can name your price. Something like this could go for 2,500 a week, or something like that per user. Or just you can pretty much name your price, and the bank will pay it if they feel like they can make money off of it. And I was like, wow. And so I immediately started working my brain with in concert with my partners to figure out a way to build social proof into how I'm doing this. So what I did was I said, okay, well, let's make the price low enough that they can use it, but let's let them be able to use it whenever they need it. And so they won't have a subscription. They just pop in there, use it, and if and let it run. And if they get the information, and when they need it the next day, they get it. If they don't need it, then they don't get it. But it can support their long-term goals to be able to do to check this report on a daily basis or every other day or whatnot. And they'll get the same analytics that the bank will get, but at a cheaper price, something that they can pay. And so here you go. This is Palo Ultra, which is Portfolio Allocation Ultra. Frosted Analytics is part of this balanced trade setup. And I'm gonna walk you through what. And so imagine, so I'm gonna walk you through this real quick. And so this is the app here, and it's based on like, if you're not familiar with the S&P 500, the S&P 500 is a collection of stocks, and those stocks represent the GDP of America. It's a collection of 500 stocks, and they made a TV channel based on this. It's called Bloomberg. Whenever you watch the news, the S&P 500 made got 20 points or 30 points, or lost 20 points, lost 30 points, and it's news, and people are watching and like, oh, the S&P 500 is down today. The S&P, that is because it represents the GDP of the United States, right? All right, so it's like a team. You can make this team based on your stats, or you can get cut from this team based on your stats. And so it's an average. And so the best players of the team makes the price of the performance of the S&P 500 go up. But the bad players drag the performance down. So when the price goes down, it's because you got stocks in that that's weighing it down. And if it goes up, it's got the top stocks or outperforming and rising the average up. So that's what's happening with the S&P 500. All right. So if you want to beat the S&P 500, if you were to take the best stocks out of the S&P 500 and pin it against the worst stocks in the S&P 500, the best stocks will beat the worst stocks. But how do you know what are the best stocks? Well, you could physically get a pencil and a piece of paper and go through 500 S&P 500 stocks one at a time and look at the last 100 periods for each stock, and then do a Monte Carlo simulation to find the best 12 stocks out of the 500 stocks on your own, but it'll take you a couple days versus this algorithm here that runs every day at 1:20 in the morning and looks at all 500 of those stocks, runs a Monte Carlo simulation, and picks the best 12 stocks out of the possible 500 stocks in 20 minutes. And then it runs a second algorithm that goes through 1,500 cycles to find the best possible portfolio allocation out of 1,500 possible portfolio allocations to give you what it would have been if you performed. Now, a fool would take this and be like, okay, I have $1,000. Let me just put my money into it, whatever, I don't care. And you will lose your money because you don't know if the stock is going down now. It performed, but you don't know it's going down. So you need to be able to be in a bullish stock to have the best chance of your scalping strategy work. But at the same time, you need to use the scalping strategy effectively to know if you're going to be able to get another trade from that, or if you've missed the trades. That's why you use the scalping strategy with the analytics. But this is the analytics. This is what you can use in order to be able to get into the right stock that has the right environment. And as you can see here, the first stock, the one that beat all the rest of the stocks, I just picked it, went here, did a simulation, and look, this is what you got. You got a stock that's rising. So that's what we're looking at right here. And so this first tab, it does that Monte Carlo simulation and does the algorithm for the S&P 500. The second tab does that same thing for the Dow. And the Dow, it's only 30 stocks that it does. What it did with 500 on this one, it did with 30 on this one, and got you this. Johnson & Johnson is killing it right now. This tab here is all of the stocks compared with each other for performance and normalized because they have dissimilar prices. And so that's what you have with this. And with this you have all of the different, like it's everything performing, like you can see the performance of each stock to be able to say, okay, well, maybe this might be good for a stock trading strategy or an option strategy. You can do a lot of things with this here. You can be able to see the history and know how they performed based on the history there. So, and that's for the S&P at the top, and the Dow is at the bottom of that tab. This is just a graphical representation of these two tabs, the S&P 500 here and the Dow here. That's what this is. This is called an efficiency frontier, and it shows you that your portfolio allocation that was picked for those tabs has the highest return for the least amount of volatility there. So correlation. So this right here is good for hedging strategies and strategies that require you to be able to hedge. If you're really good at trading options, you'll love this correlations report. And if you're not good at trading options, if you're good at trading options, you love this. But if you're not good at trading options, we have a consulting program that will take you from that will get you versed in stocks and options. And stay tuned for that because that's coming out soon. Um, okay, and this app also runs a third algorithmic set that finds stocks that have not took off yet but are undervalued. There's a book called A Little Book That Beats the Market, and there's a formula in that book that gives you the ability to find stocks that are undervalued in a group of stocks that you give it. And you have to exclude any stocks that are financial stocks. But as you can see with this S&P 500 group, the top most undervalued stock right now is MOH, which is Molina Healthcare Incorporated. And then the list goes on. The second most undervalued stock is Warner Brothers. And Warner Brothers is really cheap right now. I would definitely jump on that. And this is the list for the Dow Jones Industrial Average stock. Johnson & Johnson is killing it. It's been one of the top most undervalued stocks for the last couple of months. But the top undervalued stock right now is 3M for a reason I'm not sure. Maybe it's because of plastic bags. But just to go back to the presentation, to recap, you need to be in the right environment, and you can get up in the morning. You can go through all 500 of those S&P 500 stocks, compare them to find the top 12 stocks. After you do a Monte Carlo simulation, then you can do a algorithmic cycle to find the top 1500. Well, do a algorithmic cycle of 1500 cycles to get the best possible allocation out of 1500 possible allocations every morning. Or you can have a robot do it for you for the price of a curry goat dinner. And have the opportunity to be able to take advantage of that. But the first part is the environment, and this right here will get you the PLO app. You can get into it at any time, and also it's 24 hours too. So just a hack on it. Let's say you were to open it up at 11 o'clock. You could wake up in the morning and use it up to 11 o'clock the next day. And so it'll give you 2 days for the price of one. So that's great. That's a good perk. But it expires after 24 hours. So you get access to it for 24 hours. And it's the level of analytics that banks will pay through the nose for. You get it for cheap. And you can use this strategy also with that. And this will allow you to be able to take advantage of that. And if you have any problems with using it, or you need some coaching, let me know. I could definitely coach you through it. And if you're totally new to trading but would like to learn more about trading, this was over your head, let me know. I'll be more than happy to help you with it. And the second part of the strategy, 2-part strategy, is identify and mark the last high. Entry, green candle that opens and closes above the high, not touching the line. Exit 1 or 3 candles. Simple stuff. ABC stuff. And also make sure that you practice on a demo account or a paper trading account until you have consistent win rate. I can't stress this enough. Don't just open this app up and be like, oh, they recommending this today, because after these stocks are high performing stocks, that means that it performed. And so now you have an allocation based on stocks that have already performed. You might be able to get some more. If it's still performing, you'll be able to get some more out of it. But if it's about to turn, you're gonna need to be able to look at the patterns to tell if it's gonna turn around. So you put that line up, and if it goes above that line, that means that it's still going. But if it doesn't go above that line and you just blindly putting your money in there, then you might as well just give your money. Don't just give your money to charity. You know what I mean? Don't give your money to these people. They have enough money. They don't need your money. You're just throwing your money to them. So don't do that. Uh, but um, but you know, just and also just to reiterate on the subject of blessings, allow us to be a part of your blessings. Um, and this app here, you're gonna get more things added to this app over time. That's gonna allow you to be able to get more of an edge in trading, and I want you to be able to win in trading. So I'm gonna be putting all my effort into it, and this is something that I'm very very passionate about, and I want you guys to have this, because you know you I feel like you guys are my family. You know, anybody that I know, anybody I've come in contact with, you guys want to learn this stuff. I spend a lot of time on this stuff, you know, and I want to share it with you, and you guys want to learn this. I think that's awesome. This is a big step for you, and I'm happy that you guys have decided to join this path, and it's a great path, and I just want you to win. Um, and recap recap uh first part of the strategy: do this, scan this in the morning. Just go ahead and scan it so you can have it in your phone when you get ready to use it. I'm just repeating myself at this point. And go crush it. Go crush it. I have to apologize to you. We're going to see Wanda Sykes tonight, and it's at 7:30 in Columbia, South Carolina. I stay in Greenville, South Carolina. It was about an hour and 30 minutes from there. I gotta leave and hit that road, and the traffic is crazy, and I'm gonna be there for a minute. I got a slight headache. There's a lot of stuff. But also just wanna thank. Also, I want to give a shout out to my pastor. I had a great lunch with him today. Pastor Reverend Dowell at Macedonia Baptist Church. We talked about a lot of great things, and he likes to learn about stocks, and we talked about that. We also talked about the Lord, and we talked about a lot of things. But shout out to Pastor Reverend Dowell at Macedonia Baptist Church, and yeah, you guys hit this um, go ahead and scan it, and I will see you at the top.